Hello guys, I'm Vishruta Kathuria and I'm an undergraduate in IIT Delhi. आज हम देख रहे हैं न्यूक्लियर चैप्टर एंड आगे के टॉपिक्स जो है न्यूक्लियर फोर्स एंड रेडियो एक्टिविटी। रेडियो एक्टिविटी के अंदर हम आज सिर्फ एक टॉपिक देखेंगे दैट इज लॉ ऑफ रेडियो एक्टिव डीके। लेट्स कम टू न्यूक्लियर फोर्स। अब जो न्यूक्लियर फोर्स है वो अट्रैक्टिव है ऑब्वियसली एंड इट्स स्ट्रॉन्ग बिकॉज इट हैज टू होल्ड द न्यूक्लियस टुगेदर। All right, and moreover, it has to overcome the repulsion जो positive charge में हो रही है. Which positive charge? The positive charge that is being carried by the protons inside the nucleus. It has to overcome the repulsion between them and bind the protons and neutrons together in the tiny volume of that nucleus. Okay, now let's come to the important features of this nuclear force. We have found कि ये जो nuclear force है, it is stronger than the Coulombic force and the gravitational force. All right, and obviously it is important that this nuclear force binds this nuclear force has to dominate over this Coulombic force, which means it has to be stronger than the Coulombic force, else it won't be able to bind these photons and these neutrons together in that volume of the nucleus. All right, now let's come to the second point. सेकेंड पॉइंट ये कह रहा है कि जो ये न्यूक्लियर फोर्स है ना, ये रैपिडली डिक्रीज होता है जैसे जैसे डिस्टेंस बढ़ता जाए. जैसे ही डिस्टेंस कुछ फेम्टोमीटर्स के से ज्यादा हो जाएगा. व्हाट इज फेम्टोमीटर्स? इट इज इन द ऑर्डर ऑफ 10⁻⁻12 मीटर्स. अगर इससे ज्यादा डिस्टेंस बढ़ा तो दिस विल रैपिडली डिक्रीज टू जीरो. And what they're trying to say here is they're trying to remind you that this nuclear force is short ranged. All right, and as you discussed in the previous videos, this leads to the saturation property, and this is why we see the constancy in the middle part of the binding region curve. All right, so now we come to the plot of the potential energy between two nucleons as a function of distance. Okay, अभी हमें potential energy curve क्या बता रहा है? ठीक है, it is obviously showing a minima at about 0.8 femtometer distance, and इससे पहले हम देख रहे हैं कि जो slope है it's decreasing. ठीक है, and 0.8 femtometer के mark के बाद the slope is increasing. All right, now if you remember from your previous studies कि जो हमारा potential energy होती है it is related to the force, right, by the mathematical relation that F is equal to minus du by dt, where u is the potential energy. Now the force is being represented by the slope, right? So अगर अब हमारा slope जो है वो negative है पहले वाले region में, तो हमारा force होगा positive because minus du by dt, which means that इस region में इस region में we have positive force. Now from previous studies again you should know that this positive force, if the force is positive, it always stands for repulsion in such cases. And in the second region we see that the slope is positive, so minus du by dt, where du by dt is the slope, right? So minus du by dt, wait a second, minus du by dt is negative. So beyond 0.8 femtometers, the force is attractive. But as we go on forward, we go on up to some femtometers, this force will be attractive, but it will fall to zero rapidly. Next.
First, I'd like to make a correction. Femtometers means 10 raised to power minus 15 meters and not 10 raised to power minus 12 meters. All right.
Next, third point says that this nuclear force, it does not rely upon electronic charges. It only, therefore, it is almost same in magnitude when it comes to protons or neutrons. ठीक है, so what they're trying to say है जो nuclear force है वो प्रोटॉन प्रोटॉन के बीच में, न्यूट्रॉन न्यूट्रॉन या न्यूट्रॉन प्रोटॉन के बीच में almost same magnitude को होता है, because it does not depend on the electronic charge. Another important thing to note is कि जैसे हम Coulombic force या gravitational force के लिए mathematical expression लिख पाते हैं, ऐसा कोई mathematical expression, simple mathematical expression हम न्यूक्लियर फोर्स के लिए नहीं लिख पाते हैं. Next topic, we come to radioactivity. Now let's talk about the discovery first. Okay, so radioactivity की discovery was done by A.H. Becquerel. ठीक है, so he was studying phosphorus and fluorescence. So उन्होंने एक दिन क्या किया कि उन्होंने यूरेनियम पोटेशियम सल्फेट लिया कि कुछ पीसेस लिए, उससे विजिबल लाइट से इल्यूमिनेट किया, फिर उन्होंने उसे ब्लैक पेपर में रैप करके फोटोग्राफिक प्लेट से सेपरेट करके रख दिया. एंड ये सेपरेट करके उन्होंने कैसे रखा? बाय कीपिंग अ पीस ऑफ सिल्वर इन द मिडल. So after a few hours, when he studied the photographic plate, he got it developed and he looked at it. उन्होंने देखा कि इसमें कुछ dark spots हैं. With this he concluded that जब उन्होंने उसे visible light से यूरेनियम पोटेशियम सल्फेट को इल्यूमिनेट किया था, तो उसमें से कुछ ऐसे पार्टिकल्स निकले काफी घंटों तक जिसने नॉट ओनली ब्लैक पेपर को पेनिट्रेट कर लिया, इवन सिल्वर को पेनिट्रेट कर लिया और फोटोग्राफिक प्लेट पे अपने इम्प्रिंट्स छोड़ दिए. ठीक है, तो इस तरह रेडियो एक्टिविटी की डिस्कवरी हुई. अब हम रेडियो एक्टिविटी के बारे में बात करते हैं आगे. व्हाट इज रेडियो एक्टिविटी? रेडियो एक्टिविटी इज अ न्यूक्लियर फिनोमेनन in which an unstable nucleus undergoes decay. ठीक है, so there are 3 types of this decays. ठीक है, कौन कौन से डिकेज हैं? There is alpha decay. Alpha decay वो डिके है जिसमें emit होता है हीलियम न्यूक्लियाई. ठीक है, एंड नेक्स्ट वी कम टू बीटा डिके. व्हाट इज बीटा डिके? जिसमें emit होता है एक पॉजिट्रॉन या फिर इलेक्ट्रॉन. Now you may wonder what is a positron. Positron is a particle which is much like an electron, but its charge is opposite. मतलब उसका मास इलेक्ट्रॉन जितना होता है लेकिन उसका चार्ज उस पे पॉजिटिव होता है. ऑलराइट, थर्ड इज गामा डिके. एंड गामा डिके ऐसा डिके है जिसमें बहुत एनर्जेटिक फोटॉन्स एमिट होते हैं. ठीक है, नाउ वी कम टू द लॉ ऑफ रेडियोएक्टिव डिके. नाउ दिस रेडियोएक्टिव डिके इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ऑलराइट, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद दिस. we'll be seeing a couple of mathematical relations. So first of all, the one important point is that whenever there is a radioactive decay going on, the rate at which it is going on, which means that कि कितना number of nuclei decay हो रहे हैं कि इतने amount of time में, it is directly proportional to the number of nuclei present in that sample at that time. Alright, अगर हम इसे mathematically लिखें तो delta n, which is the number of nuclei undergoing the decay in time delta t is proportional to n, which is the number of nuclei in that sample. Alright, so अगर हम इसको proportionality हटा के equation बनाए तो we say delta n by delta t is equal to lambda n. Now what is lambda here? Lambda is the radioactive decay constant or the disintegration constant. Alright, so now what if we want to write a derivative equation of this? So we replace delta n by minus dn. Got it? Now why minus dn? Because the change here, the decay is resulting in the number of nuclei becoming less and less. It's a decay going on. The number is reducing. इसलिए delta n is equal to minus dn, or we can say dn is equal to minus delta n. Alright, so now we can write, instead of delta n by delta t, we will write dn by dt and equate it to minus lambda n. Okay. So next we come to more mathematical equations, and these are basically so that we can derive some formulas ताकि हम इसे calculations में use कर सकें आगे के problems में. Alright, so सबसे पहले हमने पिछले ही equation को use करके हमने लिख दिया dn by n is equal to minus lambda delta t. हमने integrate किया दोनों साइड. हमें पता है dn by n को integrate जब करते हैं तो we get log n. हमने limits put करी, we get ln n minus ln n naught is equal to minus lambda t minus t naught. हमने t naught which is the initial time उसे 0 set कर दिया and we get ln n by n naught is equal to minus lambda t. So यहाँ पे हमें एक important equation मिली है which is n at any time t is equal to n naught into e raised to power minus lambda t. What does it mean? It means कि n जो number of nuclei हमारे पास किसी भी time बचे हैं सैंपल में, इट इज इक्वल टू इनिशियली हमारे पास कितने न्यूक्लियर थे सैंपल में इनटू e raised to power minus lambda t, where lambda you already know is the disintegration constant. Okay, सो नेक्स्ट वी कम टू द डिके रेट आर. नाउ हम डिके रेट को कैसे डिफाइन कर सकते हैं? बेसिकली इट्स द रेट ऑफ डिके, मतलब कितने न्यूक्लियाई डिसइंटीग्रेट हो रहे हैं इतने टाइम में. So we say r is equal to minus dn by dt. Pretty simple and straightforward. Now if we write r is equal to minus dn by dt, using previous equation we can write r is equal to lambda n naught e raised to power minus lambda t. And then since lambda n naught is a constant, we can replace this by r naught and write r is equal to r naught into e raised to power minus lambda t. Okay, and this is also known as the alternative form of the radioactive decay. All right. So यहाँ पे भी जैसे पहले की तरह वैसे ही r naught जो है यहाँ पे वो रेडियोएक्टिव डिके तब है जब टाइम हमारा 0 था, और r जो है वो रेट एट एनी सब्सिक्वेंट टाइम t है. ठीक है. नाउ इफ यू यूज dn by dt is equal to minus lambda n, जैसे हमने पहले देखा था, उसे अगर हम रिप्लेस करें ऊपर वाली इक्वेशन में, सो वी जस्ट गेट r is equal to lambda n. Alright. So next we come to the units. तो पहली बात हमारी ये आती है कि एक्टिविटी हम किसे कहते हैं. तो किसी भी समय पे जो टोटल डिके रेट r होता है of a sample consisting of one or more nuclei is known as the activity of the sample. Now the SI unit for this is becquerel, after obviously the person who discovered radioactivity, Henry Becquerel. And Curie is an older unit of radioactivity. So let's come to the definition. Definition says that 1 becquerel is equal to 1 decay per second, whereas 1 Curie, we can write it in terms of becquerels and say that it is equal to 3.7 into 10 raised to power 10 becquerel decays per second. Got it? So next we come to two very important measures of time for this radioactivity. First is half life and second is mean life. What is half life? Now half life हम ऐसे टाइम को कहते हैं जब हमारा both जो n है, which is the number of nuclei at any time in the sample, and r है, which is the rate at which nuclei are decaying at any time, they have been reduced to 1/2 of the initial values. The initial values can be n naught and r naught. तो half life के समय इनकी जो values, जो spontaneous value है, वो initial value के half हो चुकी है. Mean life ऐसा टाइम है जहाँ पे similarly instead of half इनके values 1/e हो चुकी है of the initial value. Alright, so half life के लिए हम अब formula calculate करते हैं, तो formula derive करते हैं. तो it's pretty straightforward. हमें बस क्या करना है कि जो r है अब हमारा वो half of initial r naught है. ठीक है. So हमने इसे replace किया in the equation. So we get half r naught अगर हम equation में रख दें, we get t half is equal to ln2 by gamma. Oh sorry, by lambda. ठीक है. And ln2 is a constant, we can write its value. We get t half is equal to 0.693 by lambda. Next we come to mean life. Alright, so next thing we need to do is to calculate a formula, derive a formula for mean life or average life. Alright, so for this we'll use the equation n at any particular time t is equal to n naught into e raised to power minus lambda t. So first we are thinking that what will be the number of nuclei which are decaying in a time period of ranging from t to t plus delta t. मतलब in an interval of delta t कितने न्यूक्लियाई हमारे डिके हो जाएंगे. तो इसके लिए हम क्या करेंगे, हम ऑब्वियसली जो रेट है dn by dt उसे मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे डेल्टा टी से. क्या होगा कि हमें ये मिल जाएगा कि इस टाइम में कितने न्यूक्लियाई डिके हो गए हैं. मतलब if you're not understanding this, I'll use the distance formula. So what do you do if you need to find the distance covered, कि कितना distance हमने cover कर लिया है, कितनी nuclei हमने decay करवा दी है. So what you do is you multiply speed into time interval, right? Speed into time interval. So the speed is the rate of change of distance Similarly, here we have the rate of change of nuclei, which is RT into delta T. So in a similar way that we get distance from speed into time, here we get nuclei which have been decayed by multiplying rate of change of nuclei, which is RT, into delta T. Alright, so we multiply it to both sides. Now we are thinking that each of these nuclei has lived for a time T. Alright, so now the total life of all these nuclei will be just we multiply T into N naught into e raised to 1 minus lambda T. Because the time interval for which they're living is, we are taking it T now. Alright, now we know that on an average some might live for a shorter time, some might get decayed faster, some might decay first, others will decay later. Okay, so on an average, we have to take an average value to know what their mean life will be. So for getting the mean life, to calculate the average, we do the integration. Okay, and we're taking integration is only the sum part. Alright, what is average? It is the sum of all the values divided by the number of values, right? So what we do here is we are taking the sum of the values and then we are dividing it by n naught. Okay, so from this we use this expression here to calculate the mean life. Time we are keeping from 0 to infinity because radioactivity goes on and on and on. Okay, there is no particular time at which it will get over. There will be always some tiny minuscule matter that will be left which is yet to be decayed. ठीक है, तो इसलिए हम 0 से infinity लेते हैं time. ठीक है, and now using this we get T, the mean life, which is represented by tau, is equal to 1 by lambda. Now, if we see the previous relation of the half-life, which is T half is equal to 0.693 by lambda, and we see this relation of mean life, which is tau is equal to 1 by lambda, we can combine both of them and get T half is equal to tau ln2. Now, we just have to solve two examples. First of all, we come to this example. It says the half-life of uranium undergoing alpha decay is 4.5 into 10 raised to the power 9 years. So you see, this is what I'm talking about. Think of this, 4.5 into 10 raised to the power 9 years. It's such a long time. Isliye I'm saying it's a very radioactive process, is a perpetual process that goes on and on. इसलिए हम 0 से infinity लेते हैं. Even it's not getting this radioactive decay of uranium is not getting over at 4.5 into 10 raised to the power 9. In fact, it is only the half-life. Alright, and by half-life we don't mean the full life will be double of this. That's something wrong, okay? So keeping that in mind, we move forward. Thus asking us what is the activity of 1 gram sample of this uranium. Alright, so first of all we know what is T half, okay? And what we do is we need to calculate it in seconds. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले हमने बहुत सी कैलकुलेशन करी, हमने सेकंड्स में निकाल लिया क्या है इसकी वैल्यू आई 1.42 into 10 raised to the power 17. ओके, सो हम ईयर को कैसे मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे, क्या मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे ताकि सेकंड्स आ जाए? वी नीड टू मल्टीप्लाई इनटू डेज. आई डोंट नीड टू टेल यू दैट, राइट? 365, अब एक दिन में कितने सेकंड्स होते हैं? इट विल बी 24 into 60 into 60. Alright, so somehow we just calculate this seconds, this time in seconds. ठीक है, next what we need to do is अब हमें पता है कि हमें 1 ग्राम सैंपल दे रखा है. अब हमें ये जानना है कि 1 ग्राम सैंपल में होंगे कितने न्यूक्लियाई. सो वी नो दैट 1 मोल ऑफ एनी आइसोटोप कंटेन्स एवोगाड्रो नंबर ऑफ एटम्स. ठीक है, सो 1 ग्राम में कितना होगा? सो हाउ डू वी कैलकुलेट दिस? हाँ, we divide 1 by the molar mass of uranium and then we multiply it with the Avogadro's number. As you might have done in chemistry, you should know this calculation. So we get 25.3 into 10 raised to the power 20 atoms. ठीक है, now what is the decay rate? Decay rate हमें बता रखा है कि it is R is equal to lambda n. ठीक है, now lambda की वैल्यू हमारे पास क्या होती है? Lambda is equal to 0.693 divided by T half, as we can see from previous relations. ठीक है, फिर उसके बाद इसलिए हमारा R आ गया equal to 0.693 divided by T half into N. We put the values and we put the number of at nuclei we have right now, and we put the value of t half, and we get the rate which is in the unit of becquerel. We get 1.23 into 10 to the power 4 becquerel. Okay, last example, we come to tritium has a half-life of 12.5 years undergoing beta decay. What fraction of sample of pure tritium will remain undecayed after 25 years? Okay, so we know कि definition half-life की ये है कि at this time half of it has been decayed and half of it is still left to be decayed. Okay, so 12.5 year में अगर उसका हाफ डिके हो गया है तो 25 में कितना रह चुका होगा डिके होने के लिए, ठीक है। अब हमारे नेक्स्ट हाफ में जितना मटेरियल अब हमारे पास बचा, जितने न्यूक्लियर अब बचे हैं, उसका हाफ लाइफ 12.5 है अगेन, तो नेक्स्ट 12.5 ईयर में जो अभी बचा है उसका हाफ खत्म हो जाएगा और उसका हाफ रह जाएगा। सो अभी जो हमारे पास हाफ बचा है ऑफ द इनिशियल, इट विल गेट रिड्यूस्ड टू 1/4 इन द नेक्स्ट 12.5 ईयर्स, ठीक है। सो हाफ डिके हो चुका है एंड वी वर लेफ्ट विद हाफ, उसका हाफ भी डिके हो गया, वी आर लेफ्ट विद मतलब 1/4 डिके हो गया उसका, total initial का 1/4 decay हो गया, so we are left with and 1/4 of the initial sample. If this is somewhat confusing and you're not able to reason it out logically, so what you can do is put it in the long formula. Alright, so what we know is half life 5.5 है, उससे हमने lambda निकाल लिया, फॉर्मूला में डाल के हमने क्या किया कि we know that what is n at this time, it is half of n naught, and we know the time, it is 12.5, so we can put it in the formula n is equal to n naught e raised to power minus lambda t. We get the formula, we get the value of n naught. Now with the value of n naught, we can use this formula again by taking n. We need to know कि अब हमारे पास 25 years बाद कितना बचा है, तो this is n is equal to n naught, we know the value of n naught, into e raised to power minus lambda t. Now instead of lambda remains the same obviously, but instead of t is equal to 12.5, just put the value of 25 and you'll get the same result. With this we come to the end of the slide, and I hope you were able to understand the concepts discussed here. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.